Cool. Who's running competition? Ed, Mark, who's?
It's me, Mark.
Okay.
Mark was here.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, there you are. Okay, you're just a black screen.
Yeah, it distracts me. Too many other things to do.
That's fair.
Ed, do I have the screen control?
Yeah, I'm gonna mute.
You are now the presenter. Okay. I got to go to. Ed, remind me what it is I got to go.
It's at the bottom. It's the little thing. It looks a three-sided box with an up arrow.
Ah, yes. Thank you. And let us look at. Excellent. Okay, so tonight, once again, welcome everybody to our monthly competition. We have another large and excellent set of images to look at in 3 different classes, the basic, intermediate, and advanced classes. So we'll start off with a run through of all the images in the basic class. There are 24 of them. And then we'll go back through them and our judges will comment on 3 images each in that class. And so without any further ado, we'll start going through the images. Nectar detector. Oh, snap. Swirly snail. Horseshoe bend. Aransas Pass sundown. Wildflower with wildlife. Splash. Brown-eyed Susan. Only in Texas, Alaska yak. Man versus nature. Reach for the sky. Tight fit. Garden party. Look what I made. Jeweled frog. Gerber peeking through the greens. Daycare. Resting among the bluebonnets. America. Cactus shark teeth.
Hey, Mark,
Yes,
could you keep your cursor out of the?
I can do that.
mind. It was me.
Yeah, I'm also going to get rid of that box. Well, let me back up here. Cypress rooftop. Snails social distancing. Teeth. And eyes see you.
Or was that basic or intermediate?
That was the basic class.
Wasn't teeth an intermediate?
Yes, it was.
What?
It is an intermediate. I think Yeah, it will show up. We will move it. We'll come back
Teeth
to it.
teeth is a basic.
I'm pretty sure it was intermediate, but
Basic.
Yeah, it's supposed to be intermediate.
It was
And I had it
basic.
intermediate, but where did on the voting?
on the voting, I saw it in intermediate when I was voting for when I was doing my judging.
It was in basic when I did. It was in basic when I did my judging. So I'm confused.
It was in basic when I did my judging too.
Mary, you had it in basic? Mary? Okay.
Sorry,
This is,
I'm trying to unmute. I don't remember. I'm looking. I do not remember where it was.
Well,
it was-
thinking
Can you check and see which
have
place
the-
it should be in?
I have the list here. I have the
Yeah.
list here, and it was the next to last one in the basic list.
yeah. You know, this is my fault because I didn't have Brian's category correct. Is it correct? And so let me see what we got here.
Oh, sorry, you're right. It was in basic. I'm being stupid. I did a lot of judging the last couple of days.
Okay. All right.
Resemble that remark,
All right.
but there's the list.
Okay.
So
All right. Now, is everybody just seeing pictures or are they seeing other stuff too?
I'm just seeing the
No,
picture.
just pictures.
Just seeing the pictures.
Okay, good. All right. So we'll go back to look at the images again. Some of them will have comments on by the judges. Okay, this is Nectar Detector, and Mary Long is going to speak.
This is obviously a very attractive image, very striking. One of those you say, how on earth did they do that? Because hummingbirds are so hard. So obviously it's a very, very attractive image. The more I looked at it, the more I found interesting things about it that intrigued me and made me wonder about the processing. I thought the background, first I thought very nice bokeh, and then I started looking at how sharp and different the flower looks. And I found myself just staring at it, thinking, is there some weird processing, some weird compositing going on? And I found it very intriguing just because of these elements that look disparate. I was trying to figure out, is it any kind of composite, or is it processed, or is it just a trick of the light that made it look this way? I guess we'll have to hear from the author on that. I find it to be a very attractive, good capture. The blurring in the hummingbird is very interesting. At first I thought it didn't work, and the more I looked at it, the more I liked it, almost like this motion blur. Again, with hummingbirds, sometimes you get them still, often you get just a blur, and this is an interesting combination of the two, with some motion blur and some very good still detailed in the hummingbird, and a good catch light in the eye. And so all in all, very, very interesting photograph. One, you can look at it for a long time. And I had some questions about the processing, if there was some artificial blurring of the background, or some artificial sharpening or selective sharpening of the flower. Those I studied that for a long time, trying to figure out, and I never did quite. I almost wanted to see the light on the flower look more natural and more integrated with the background. To me, it almost looks pasted on, and I don't know if that's an artifact of processing or if it's a trick of the light. Anyway, all in all, good composition, good capture, very attractive photograph.
Okay. Next image. Oh snap! Brian Nixon, who's returned to the club, is going to comment on this one.
Some of y'all know I usually shoot a lot in black and white. Josh complains about it sometimes. I really like this photo. It's telling an interesting story. A couple of things I would have liked to have seen done would have been maybe not crop it so tight. a little bit wider so you see the entire fountain. I understand this is like a snap moment kind of a picture. So as far as the subject goes, it's a good candid photo. It's a little high. I would probably bring down the highlights a little bit so you actually it's so there's not so much white. You see a little bit more detail of the water, and you could also make out the details in the dress a little bit more, and you would probably get a little bit more separation from the background. But yeah, I definitely would have liked to have seen it a wider crop, not so tight. But overall, it's a very fun image. I like it.
Thank you, Brian. This is Swirly Snail. Horseshoe Bend, Mary again.
Horseshoe Bend is such a relentlessly photographed thing. It's hard to look at a photo without thinking about the 10,000 other photographs you've seen of Horseshoe Bend. All in all, I think this is a very good shot. Interesting square format, nice detail, nice tonal range, all sorts of good things going on there. I especially love on the left side, there's a little boat coming around, and I like how the weight of the boat on the river draws your eye back into the darker part of the river and kind of sets that swirly Horseshoe Bend thing in motion. There's some stuff going on in the sky that I found a little bit distracting, kind of streakiness in the sky. And there is a plane or maybe a helicopter or something in the sky that I kept trying to clean off my monitor. Yeah, so for me, it's kind of not big enough to really read as what it is. And, you know, it's kind of distracting. I would have thought about cloning that out if it weren't a little bit larger. To me, the light is a little bit flat because I've seen 800 million lights with super dramatic raking light on Horseshoe Bend. And I was almost waiting for the light to change in this thing. But all in all, I like the distortion of the wide angle lens. It's a good time of day. I almost want to see a little more dramatic lighting on those rocks. But all in all, this is a very solid shot of a very iconic landmark.
Next is Aransas Pass Sundown. Charles Schwartz.
Yeah. Yep. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
All right. So Aransas Pass Sundown. I kept wanting to like this image a lot, but it you know, because it had such a great light from the sunset, the colors and how they show through the pillars of the bridge, you know, that it just ended up being too much stuff. Okay, I mean we had to get the palm tree at the left. We had to get the bird down at the bottom. We had to get the boats in the marina, you know, and then you have these dark islands in the front just kind of hogging frame. And, you know, it just, if it had been cropped down, you know, so that it reduced the number of elements, it'd be a much better photo. I really enjoyed, you know, the way the light, you know, got the layers of the clouds up there. I thought that was great. I just thought there were too many elements to make it work. You know, and I think just a little cropping would make it a much better image.
Okay, thank you. And we'll move on to Splash. Mary's going to talk about this.
Another very solid, very attractive kind of a product shot sort of photograph. Where it's sharp, it's very sharp. The colors are very nice. I love the bright white background. I like the color of the liquid that's splashing. And I love the idea of the photographer making a big old mess trying to shoot this one. So it's very interesting, very enjoyable to look at. It has some stuff that bothered me because I think a shot like this has to be absolutely high shutter speed, dead sharp. And there's a lot of blurring in the drops on the left side. And then there's one single drop on the right side I think if you're going to do a shot like this, it has to be absolutely tack sharp. And there are some places where that doesn't quite pull it off. I especially love the bottom here, all the ripples, the stem of the glass and all the ripples that are going on at the bottom are very attractive. So all in all, very nice shot. I imagined what a mess whoever was trying to do it. I enjoyed looking at it. I think if you're going to go for this, you have to be absolutely dead sharp, and this isn't quite it. It could have been cleaned up a little bit with cloning out some of the blurrier ones, but all in all, keep playing with this. It's a lot of fun. I'd love to see more like this.
Okay. Brown-eyed Susan. Charles, you're on again.
Yeah, this was just a really bright image that I just enjoyed the detail that shows up in the stamens and I'm not even sure what you call them there, all the little features in the I guess that's the ovary body in the middle of it. I liked it, how the leading lines came up from the bottom, we got the stem coming up, and we got the petals all pointing to the center. I thought that was great. I thought that maybe cropping up the stem a little bit, there was a lot of space down there, and maybe not quite so much stem was needed. And then looking closely at it, I found it a little disturbing that the sharp point was along one edge of the I guess those are stamens there. There's that ring of stamens there, and the sharp point is kind of on the front of that. So they're sharp, and there's a little sharpness in front of it, a little sharpness behind it, and so then the center of the flower isn't, and that kind of disturbed me a little bit. And I thought it's such a nice photo. I just thought maybe a little more depth of field, to get, or maybe focusing either up or down a little bit might have enhanced it. But again, that's a lot of that's personal taste there. I kind of wanted and as Mary says, they're beautiful bokeh there with the way that the way the background is so indistinct, but you can still see the colors. That was very good. So overall, it's a great image. You get to see lots of detail of the flower that I don't know about you guys, but my eyes are to the point where without the lens magnifying this, I can't see that stuff. So I thought it was a great image overall.
Thank you. Next is Only in Texas, Alaska Yak. Brian, have at it.
Okay. First of all, this is my first time ever seeing an Alaskan yak. I'm not sure why it's in Texas, but then again, there are ostriches and giraffes on farms in Texas, so whatever. It's an interesting photo. I think I'm guessing this was probably taken around the wintertime, just judging by the color going on, or a cloudy day. That being said, the colors aren't really doing much for the photo. I think this would have benefited much more from being in black and white, because you would get a lot of the contrast of the fur, and also I would have liked to have seen a tighter crop on just the yak's face, since he's staring dead at the camera, and you would have gotten the texture of the horns, the fur, the eyes, and I mean, I think it would have benefited from a tighter shot. It would have been much more dramatic, but it's definitely unique, and I want to thank the person taking it for letting me see a yak for the first time. Or an Alaskan yak. I've seen yaks, but yeah.
Yakety yak.
Don't talk back.
Talk back.
Man versus nature. Reach for the sky. Tight fit, for sure. Garden party. Look what I made. Jeweled frog. And Brian, you're on again.
I really like this image. I really like the colors. I even like I don't know, the sort of, it's not necessarily bronze or nickel, but that metal. I'm assuming the frog is metal. They all complement each other very well in the image. I would have almost, a couple of things I didn't like were the background mainly. It doesn't really do much for the photo. I almost would have liked to have seen the camera move a little bit to the left to get the rest of the body out of focus. So you get the continuation of those colors, all the jewels. I'm assuming they went down the entire body of the frog. And that would have made for a much more dynamic background. But a really good capture. I really enjoyed this photo. Where the hell is this?
I think it's probably in somebody's personal collection
Probably.
of jeweled frogs. Gerber, peeking through the greens. Daycare. Resting among bluebonnets. America. Cactus shark teeth. Charles Schwartz.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I mean, somebody had the you had the imagination to see this as a shark mouth, and it really made me want to stay out of the water. I mean, if they've got if they got cactus like this, pardon me, I just have to say it. I mean, the thorns are just sharp. You knew somebody was going to have to put that pun in there, and I like the way that the receding focus makes the following layers look like it's really a mouth, and a little splash of color at the back to give it some contrast was great. I think the image could have used a little cropping. I think losing that first row of teeth at the bottom would have helped the photograph, would help the image, because it's not really, doesn't really lend to the theme. And there's a lot of expansive empty stuff that they're up at the top. So maybe a little cropping, maybe a little rotation, a little bit to of the image might have helped a little bit. But overall, thank you for putting that in there. That's just marvelous. Don't put your hand in there.
Okay, cypress rooftop. Snails, show social distancing. I would have to put a knot on the end of that. Teeth. And eyes see you. So that's all the images from the basic division. Now, if I can do this again, I think we'll try and show the winners. So we have 3 honorable mentions and first, second, and third prizes. Honorable mention goes to Michael Knox for a Wildflower with Wildlife. Another honorable mention, Jim Smith for America. Honorable mention to Ronnie Duke for Cypress Rooftop. Third place goes to Gene Thomas for Nectar Detector. Second place goes to Nagaraju Kajula for Horseshoe Bend. And first place goes to Charles Schwartz for teeth.
Congratulations, Joe. Hey, can I say that might be the best lineup of basic we've ever had? Like top to
That was
bottom.
impressive. That
I've
was
been saying that every month for the last 3 or 4.
I
They
really
just keep
thought
getting better.
when Brian was asking about teeth, if y'all hadn't accidentally showed the intermediate class the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, teeth was my personal favorite in the basic. Well, I guess I thought it was an intermediate, but either way, it was one of my personal favorites.
Yeah. I think some of y'all are going to be moving up here soon. Just saying.
That
Y'all
might be-
sandbagging. Anyway, really good job, everyone in basic. That was really good stuff.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Now we'll move to the intermediate division. And we'll do a run through of all of them. There are 18 images in this group. First is relaxing. Hot stuff. Getting a goodbye highball signal. The Blood Queen. The Early Bird. Awesome yoga position, bro. Not that way. Mormon Barn. Look what I found. Delicate balance. Retired. Well, look at it this way. Into the forest. Big Bend Moonset. Water suspense. Strength through Oi. Texas May wildflowers. Northern Cardinal. Okay, now it's time to take commentary from the judges. So we'll just manual version of this. First image was relaxing. Hot stuff. Charles is going to comment on this.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time down at Coda, so I'm thinking this is coming out of turn 1, and I really do like all that hot stuff coming out of the back of it. So far, I haven't been successful in catching anything like that myself, so I'm going to say props to whoever's image that is. They did a great job there catching that. I also like the way the lines just lead the car through the curve, and you can see him riding the rumble strip along the edge there, getting a few seconds and beating up the suspension at the same time. On the other hand, I thought there was a little too much empty space at the bottom and the right, and that this could probably use a little more cropping, to make it a little more dramatic and a little too much empty space there. But having said that, You got me looking. I'm sitting here going like, what turn is that? Yeah, okay, isn't that turn one? Yeah, okay. So, great image. One of these days I'll be able to catch one of my own where I can see the heat flowing out the back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is getting a good high ball, 4140. I don't know if that's the number that it is. Oh, it should be 4014 probably.
Yeah, somebody blew their title.
Getting a goodbye high ball signal. And
looks like somebody in the East Piney Woods. Yeah, looks nice.
Next is the Blood Queen, and Mary's going to talk about this.
Interesting image. I looked at it quite a while, wondering about the title, wondering about a lot of things that were going on. Of course, the minute you see a picture of an attractive, scantily clad woman all in red, especially that brings certain connotations, and then you start thinking about the title, Blood Queen, what's going on? Is she on her period? Is she what exactly does the title mean? Is it just a random spooky kind of title, or what's going on, or is it just a reference to red? Anyway, I had all sorts of interesting thoughts about it. At first, I looked at it and thought it's out of focus, and then I looked at it longer and larger and realized it has a very selective focus. Mostly her hands and a little bit of her lacy bodice are in focus, and nothing else is really. And again, I started wondering, is that intentional? In terms of cropping, I had a lot of ideas about cropping that could have been more effective. If it were a tighter crop on her body and face and headpiece, you would see that interesting selective focus. That would emphasize the very selective focus. And she's making these hypnotic gestures, and to see that her hands and fingers and bodice are in sharper focus. A tighter crop just on her body and headdress would emphasize that. But also there's a very interesting shadow going on behind her. So I thought backing off and having her kind of off to the right and seeing more of her shadow could also be interesting. As it is now, I think the cropping doesn't really work that well for it. So it's a very interesting photo, striking, intriguing, brings up a lot of questions. What the hell is going on here? It's an intriguing image.
Okay, thanks, Mary. The early bird. Awesome yoga position, bro. Not that way. And Brian's going to talk about this. Brian? Is Brian's mic on?
Sorry about that. I really like this image. It's another example of a really good candid. I could see this potentially being in a street photography magazine or book. A couple of things I had issues with were, again, it's a candid, so I'm not going to nitpick that much because it's obviously street photography. It's mainly stuff that can be fixed in processing. Every subject in this photo is clearly seen except for that black dog. If you didn't see the leash going to him or her, she gets lost, or the dog gets lost in the shadows. There's a couple of things you could have done. Could have been done to fix this, depending on your skills in post processing. But I'm wondering what the hell everyone's looking at, to be honest, because the dogs and the guy handling the dogs are looking in the same direction. They're not liking what they're seeing at all. The second guy is not really interested in anything, but it's a very fun candid. I really like it. A little heavy on the shadows, and you could probably dial down the highlights just a little bit, but good image.
Yeah, I was kind of taken by the kind of symmetrical pattern of the white
Yeah.
dog and the white light clothed gentleman on the outside, and then the two darker, uh, the
Yeah, it
dark
makes you
dog
wonder whose
the
dog
black
is
shirt.
who in this picture.
So that was kind of fun. Okay, next is Mormon Barn. Look what I found. Delicate balance. Brian, you're on again. It's a color picture, though.
It is a color picture. The thing about me is, like I said earlier, I shoot a lot in black and white. The only time I really do color is when it's warranted, and in my opinion, when it's warranted. And this definitely is a warranted color photograph. I could see this easily being in an art gallery as a high concept art piece, and I could easily see it also happening in the same place in the 80s. It's just a striking image. I love particularly the transition of colors in the center plume coming up from the ripple. I mean, you have orange, reddish orange in the bottom going to yellow. I mean, it's almost a perfect example of a spectrum. And I mean, I really have nothing negative to say about this photo except, I mean, it's good use of space. It's great timing. I mean, I'm just curious as to what the liquid is, but it's a great image. It's very fun. Good job.
Okay. Next is Retired. And Charles is going to talk about this.
Yeah, I see the USA in your Chevrolet, only maybe not this one anymore. I I just like the way the front actually just kind of zigzags its way up. I mean, you got the bumper bolted back on, and kind of hanging one way, and then the zigzag with the front grille. It's to the left, and then the grill to the right, and then the hood is tilted the other way, just kind of zigzagging its way up the front. And then you got all that lines there going like that. And you got the doors, with their lines hanging open and pointing their way in. And the contrast in the colors, just works for me. The you can, the red of the rust, picked out against that looks like blue was the original color of the truck if you look hard enough. And then the white and the green of the weeds underneath. I mean, the contrast is just so striking there. I'm just like, yeah, I missed, where was this? I missed it, So, I mean, the thing I really got to say is the blue algae, really. I got to say is I thought the posts on both sides were a little distracting, that they didn't really lend anything to the image. I do like it. It almost looks like a cotton gin over on the left side, and I thought that actually helped. But there's these little posts just kind of hanging out at the edge, and she can't really tell what it is. I thought that and I guess it's a telephone pole on the right hand side. Those didn't really lend anything to the image, and I thought those could have been cropped out. But overall, I'm like, where was this? I got to go find myself some dead cars to shoot against. It's a great image.
Thank you. Well, look at it this way. Into the Forest. Mary, got a few words about this one?
I love this image. I have tried to shoot this image a million times. Something about when you're out hiking and you're walking through a green forest like this and the pathway leads off. What photographer cannot take this picture? I think this one is very well done. The light is beautiful. The detail is beautiful. There's a bald white sky. Okay, sorry, my computer went into sleep mode. Okay, there I am. Okay, it's beautiful in every way. I like the winding path. It's kind of symmetrical, but it works, and the light works very well. Looking at it a long time, I would love to see the dark, especially on the left, brought out a little bit more. And on both of my monitors that I looked at it on, especially the ground, there's a little bit of magenta going on there that I think could be toned down a little bit. But overall, lovely photo, peaceful, definite, evokes an emotional response. We have that slider. I can just feel myself in that forest and walking down that path, and I just love it.
Great. Okay. Big Bend moonset. Charles.
Yeah. So, I looked at this image and, I looked at the title and I went moonset, and then looked around and finally found the little tiny moon up in the top left corner. And my reaction was, great, great colors in the sunset, good, good color up there to the top. And, I liked, how the moon was framed up there, and there's some little stuff going in the front, in the front. And I like the way the mountains kind of step into the mist going into the sunset. But it's too much, it's, with all that, I mean, half of the picture is covered. Yeah, okay, maybe right. It depends. You're probably right in that, but I like the colors, whether it's moonrise or whether it's sunrise or sunset. Thanks. But the foreground was just too murky. Half of the picture is this murky slope, and it looked to me like it just needs some cropping. It's just too much. I actually thought that you could make two images out of this. I mean, you could, if you crop the left hand side and keep some of the sunset, it brings up the moon and makes it an interesting picture. But if you take the right hand side, and crop this huge dark mountain out of it, you've got this layering effect. So I see two pictures here instead of one. I'm sorry, but I like the I like the attempt. I like the yeah. Sorry, you can only get the moon into one picture, but I liked it, but it just seems like it needed some help. Anyway, thank you.
Okay. Moving onwards to water suspense. And Brian, your turn again.
I'm actually glad I got to talk about both. I'm assuming, I'm going on a limb here, that this is the same photographer.
I don't know why you think that.
Unless we have two different photographers that are dabbling in the same kind of photography. Where the other one was in my opinion, it was a perfect shot, perfect timing. I would have liked to have seen this about a split second later, where the ball is separated from the plume. I think that would have made this image another perfect or another really, really good attempt. Love the colors. I mean, there's not really much you could do about some of the stuff I didn't like, which is the cloud in the bottom right. You can't even clone that out, but it kind of takes away from the image. I don't know which one was taken first, this one or the other one, but this one, my assumption is this one was the first one. This is like that first attempt that almost nails it, and the second one was the attempt that nailed it. But I also might have liked to seen a little wider, get the whole dome effect coming out, like the nice subtle lines going into the dome. But great image. Really fun. I can't do this.
Okay, the next image is strength through OI.
Okay, well, I'm going to jump in here.
Oh, yeah, Mary. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
I think this is a very strong image, very good use of black and white. I love the way it's written. I looked at it for a while and thought strength through oi. It was just so crazy. And then it took me a while to kind of get the joke and started laughing. I also love Casino El Camino, and I'm very sad I can't go have a burger there. So that kind of, helped my reaction. It's such a good use of black and white. The textures are just beautiful. I think the composition is very nice. One quibble I have about the composition is I wonder if the blank white rectangle at the upper right, if a slightly different angle or even a slightly tighter crop, my eye kept wandering back over there, even though I was enjoying all the textures and everything that's going on, and the timeliness of the boarded up restaurant and everything. My eye kept going back over there and looking at that blank white space. So I was trying to figure out how to crop it to make it a little tighter. I think it would be just absolutely stunning if it were just cropped down. And anyway, very, very good. Very good black and white, beautiful image.
Okay.
Oh, they're open. Okay.
Mm.
I'm not going to restaurants yet, but anyway, great. I'm glad they're open.
Here we have Texas May wildflowers and Northern Cardinal to finish out this class. So, going to the winners. In the intermediate division, we've got one honorable mention, Jerry Zerbst for retired. Honorable, and Pete, maybe it's two honorable mentions. No, I think there was a third place. Second place, strength through OI. And first place, delicate balance. Let me double check something here, because 18 images, we should have two honorable mentions, so I probably did not show third place.
Yeah, it should be first, second, third honorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me.
Hey, Ed, on that flower shot, what was the background?
Yeah, I had the same question.
Ed,
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, the background was blue felt.
Ah,
You know, the question that's been driving me, what's the liquid in the splash shots?
yeah, Patty, spill your secrets.
Is it oil with dye, I'm assuming?
If she told you, she'd have to kill you.
She has to find me first.
okay. First place.
Gum and
Xanthan
Wow.
gum. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
First place was this delicate balance, the outstanding water drop shot.
The other thing that's really good about that water drop shot is that for a symmetrical image, it was perfectly symmetrical. I think a lot of times being just 1 degree off can really limit it. And in that case, it was exactly symmetrical, which really helps.
And the other one was slightly not symmetrical.
Yeah.
Okay, second place was strength through OI. Third place was water suspense. And then wildflowers and retired were the honorable mentions. Okay, sorry, I must not have. Sometimes you click these boxes and the check doesn't go in it, and you got to look at it carefully. All right, moving back to competition manager. So we're going to go to the advanced division now. We have 28 images,
Is that the most we've had in advance? I don't remember advance ever having 28 before, but I could be wrong.
I think you're probably right about that.
Yeah, I was surprised at the amount of advance.
Good. I mean, it's awesome. I know I say this. I know I say this a lot, but in the first meeting we ever had, we had like 8 images total, and to see it grow to what? How many we have? Like 70 something images. Like, I don't know. It's kind of astounding to see the growth. So, anyway, keep submitting, y'all. We love seeing everything. So tell your friends.
Well, last year some of us just moved up, so we had something in the third category. So,
Yeah.
Hey, Kat. Good to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right. I'll shut up.
The advanced division, delirium. The moment of creation. Spider and agapanthus. Tricolored beauty. Smorgasbord. Shards of light. Whiteout. T-Birds, Austin, Texas. Three Generations, train station in Johadapur. Buggy ride. Day of the Dead. Beach memories. Cyclops owls. Gulls. Salón de Puerta. Viper over the moon, not a bear. Serving pickup and fly-through dining only. Song of the Painted Bunting. Classic Chevy truck. Better Together Besties. Here, fishy, fishy. Where are you? Southern Magnolia. Sunset on South Padre. Glory. Saguaro blooms. Looking for lunch. Nice breeze. And that's our first run through. I'm sorry for mangling Jodhpur. The script went off my screen before I read the whole word, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, we'll go through those again now with commentary. So, delirium, a moment of creation, spider and agapanthus. Mary's going to talk about this one.
This is a beautiful image. It's technically well done. Are we going through it or am I talking?
You're talking.
Okay, you kept on going. Yeah, this is a beautiful image. Technically, it's very well done. The spider is in very sharp focus, and the leaves are in various levels of unfocus, and I think it's beautiful. I love the color. I want to know what the light source is, what's going on here light-wise. If the author wants to speak about that, I'm intrigued. I like it a lot. I think the colors work. I think the composition is very strong. And I tried and tried to find something wrong with it, and I just couldn't. I think it's a beautiful image, and it works really well. 3 speed lights with gels. Okay, I love it. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful image. I like it a lot, and I can't find anything wrong. I can't find anything to say about it that I don't like.
Okay. Suck up. Tricolor beauty.
I tried.
Next is Smorgasbord, and Charles is going to talk about this.
I love the light. The light and the colors in this one are just so striking. And Smorgasbord, I'm kind of like, I don't know who's eating on these trees, but the layers from light to dark it looks like they're distinct layers on here, like you did it on purpose, but they're really really there. And I love the way the birch, the paper white comes exploding up out of the ground. And yes, that right there in the foreground, there's kind of this black split there in the bark there that just catches your eye and adds some extra contrast. I think it's a gorgeous image.
I think you're right. Next is Shards of Light. Whiteout. T-Birds, Austin, Texas. 3 Generations, train station in Jodhpur, India. And Mary's going to talk about this one.
When I first looked at this one, the colors jarred me. And then I kept looking at it. And the more I looked at it, the more I liked whatever this processing is, maybe duotone. If the author wants to speak to that. Anyway, it's a very interesting process. And I kept going back and forth. Part of me wanted to see these great faces just in natural color. And part of me thinks this is India, and it's almost kind of culturally relevant to do these kind of harsh, jarring kind of colors. That seems kind of culturally appropriate for the thing. I love the faces. I love these 3 women faces. I think the cropping is very interesting. Okay, I'm waiting to see if anybody's answering on the processing. If this is a duotone, I think maybe that's interesting. It makes me want to play with it. Cropping might be a little bit tight. I almost want a little more open space on one side. It's got these 3 women very symmetrical. I think it could be a little bit better if we had a little more space. Maybe if if this sort of inverted pyramid composition were offset just a little bit. All in all, from an image that first kind of, I don't know what the word is, almost grated on me at first, the longer I looked at it, the more I liked it. It's a very interesting, yeah, cropped more or cropped less. I could agree with that. Somehow it's a very strong image, but the cropping is a little bit too symmetrical. I think it could be a little bit tighter or opened up on one side or the other. But very interesting processing, beautiful, beautiful faces, interesting kind of cultural thing. That I stared a long time at the mother and the child, and then I guess the grandmother, and the expressions on all their faces. It's just, I find it to be a very, very strong photo. I'm just amazed at the photos we're getting from people these days. You guys are good photographers.
Okay. Buggy Ride. Day of the Dead. Beach Memories. Cyclops Owl. Gulls. I'm guessing Franklin gulls. Salon de Puerta. Mary.
Another strong black and white image. Very interesting setting, very interesting composition. They've caught just the perfect moment when the barber is intent on his task. The guy being shaved is kind of spacing out and looking off to the side. Other people are waiting patiently. Interesting things going on in the background. Beautiful tonal range, beautiful black and white capture. My eye just kept getting distracted by the shoulder of the barber being so out of focus. And in these kind of street photography sort of things, I know you're supposed to forgive stuff like that, but I guess I'm a hard ass about that sort of thing. It's damn shoulders out of focus. And I was trying to think, can you crop it? Yeah, because the light and the focus and everything is so beautiful. That one shoulder right there at the bottom right out of focus just kept tripping me up. And because everything else about this photo is so beautiful, it really pissed me off. It's like, move the damn shoulder out of the way. This is so close to being just a gorgeous, I mean, it is a gorgeous photo, but it's just that damn shoulder. Anyway, a dirty shot. I know I tried to take it in that way. It's like, this is no one was posing. These people were working, but I just couldn't get past it. And there will be plenty of people who will disagree with me on that, and let them. They're just wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Next, Viper over the Moon.
Mine, right? Or
Yeah, Brian.
yeah. Who would have thought two jet pictures in advanced? I really like this photo. There's a lot going on that you have to like stare at it for a while. I mean, people are gonna point out the fact that the pilot is he's in pretty damn good focus. It's a good chance it's sharp. This is a lucky shot is what this is, to be this clear and be able to get all the detail, especially seeing the jet wash come out the back. A couple of things I didn't like was, first and foremost, was the vignetting. I'm assuming that's vignetting. I don't think that's clouds. Too
symmetrical.
Too symmetrical to be clouds. It doesn't help the photo. It's going to sound a little harsh. It kind of gives it a cheese factor on it, and it could definitely go away. Or if you were going to vignette, a darker vignette would have probably been a better choice. Maybe they're trying to simulate clouds. I'm not sure, but it takes away from the photo. And the problem with it being cropped so tight is most of the time when you're shooting something like this, you want to see movement, but the out of focus moon kind of jars me a little bit. I mean, that would have just been an award-winning shot if both the plane and the moon were in perfect focus. But other than that, it's a striking image. It's a sorry for the language. It's a lucky shot.
That's mean.
But again, this is a shot that I couldn't pull off if I tried. I also like how the shadow is going in the opposite direction from the movement, or could be going in the same direction as movement, depending on what your perspective is. But I would have liked to see this in black and white. I think it. I mean, there's not much color going on, so I would have liked to see a version of this in black and white. But it's great.
Okay. Serving pickup and fly-through dining only. Song of the Painted Bunting. Oh, sorry about that. Back. Okay, back to where we were. Classic Chevy truck.
Okay, Josh. I was actually going to talk about
Yeah.
Chevy.
Yeah, Brian, this
Um,
is yours.
I get
Yes.
to critique one of the photos.
Go for it.
I mean, come on, man. You just need to stop with this kind of work. Do some crappy photos for a change.
I don't show you the bad ones. I only submit the good ones, only the ones that work.
I've seen your bad ones, and those aren't bad. So,
Eh.
anyway, I know this is a stacked image. It's great, man. I'm not a fan of this model Chevy, but could have picked a better truck. I mean, the highlights are great. Yeah, every detail that a vintage car owner would want is clearly seen, which is rare on a wide image like this. I mean, the taillights, the trim, the hubs, everything. I mean, all the details are in perfect focus. It took me a while looking at it to realize that. Did you light paint the back?
Yeah.
Is that what that neon stuff is?
There's 9 layers of light painting going on.
Whoa.
But that's my one critique is that didn't need to be there. I think
With what the power tools and stuff?
no. Well, I mean the power tools is it's set dressing. I understand why that's there.
Oh, the blue streaks.
Blue streaks, yeah.
So actually, there's actually 2 versions of this, one with and one without the blue streaks. The blue streak is there. The blue streak is there to blend in the yellow to the blue, because without it, it took me like another hour to do the blending.
Just look like ribbon cable.
I'm so sorry, Josh, that it took you an hour to do the blending.
No, just for the blue streak was another hour. The whole photo took me 4 hours for this version and 5 for the other.
See, if you start doing crappy images, you won't have to spend so much time post.
All I have right now is time.
But great image, man. I don't need
Thanks.
to tell you that. It's. I could definitely see this hanging on a wall somewhere.
It is. So the owner actually, the person that owned this truck was selling it that week. And he had it for like 30 years. And so we did these photos to commemorate the truck, and we made 2 prints of them to hang on his wall because he was selling it because he was getting old and just couldn't drive it anymore.
How much did he ask for? Like 30, 35?
Didn't ask.
Okay, we will move on.
Yeah.
Better Together Besties. And Charles is going to talk about this one.
Yeah, it's a very simple image, but I thought it really worked. It's saying a lot in metaphor going on here. The better together. The dog and the man. I'm assuming that's a man there. But are great together. But to me, he says homeless all over him. And there's this huge divide between him and the sign across the street, and he's sleeping on a piece of stone, and here's this banner over here in the lush foliage, and I think the image by itself just says
Hi, thank you.
well, so much for Josh. Anyway, but but anyway, I mean, I just see this image as one massive metaphor, and I think it's very striking.
Great. Agreed. Okay. Here, Fishy Fishy. Where are you? Southern Magnolia. And this is Charles.
Just awesome image. I mean, perfect lighting. I mean, just lighting the center and the lights and the light and the shadow going on in the petals, showing the the focus in the center with all the stamen coming out like that. I mean, just stunning image. I think there's a spot there where one of the petals is out of focus, but it doesn't really bother me. I think I'm hard to find any criticism with this image. The directionality, the motion going on with the petals, just stunning.
Okay. Next, sunset on South Padre. Glory. Saguaro blooms. Looking for lunch. And our final image is Nice Breeze. And since it's black and white, we'll let Brian talk about it.
It's great black and white. I'm seeing, this, maybe it's just the way I like processing black and white, but I'm seeing this on a lot of the black and white images, which I'm actually happy that people are shooting in black and white, especially with a bird. That's rare. Most people shoot birds in color. I'm assuming this is obviously it's a white bird, but I would have liked to see the highlights down again. I keep saying that a lot, but with this one specifically, because you almost, the bird is strikingly white, but you still, because the highlights are up, you almost lose it in the background. There's just not enough shadows going on in the background to give it a good separation. I also kind of would have liked to have seen it cropped a little bit inward and get rid of some of that branch and sort of keep the bird off center like it is, but just get rid of some of that branch. There's something else on it, that would be one thing, but that branch is a little bit too long. But a great black and white image, strong, and it unique, and in the sense that it's a black and white image of a bird.
Okay. All right, folks, we have made it through the advanced division. And now we will look at the results. So we have 4 honorable mentions. First is Dennis Bosserman with Whiteout.
Yeah.
A gorgeous image. Dennis Bosserman again for Shards of Light. This looks like Gorman Falls to me.
It looks like a video game render.
Patty Mitchell, right place at the right time for T-Birds.
Good job.
Yay, Patty.
Good job.
Deborah Cole for Salon de Puerta. Honorable mention. Third place, classic Chevy truck, Josh Baker, in case nobody knew.
Yeah.
I gave that away.
Yeah.
Second place will remain anonymous.
Great job, Mark.
And first place, Mary Day Long, The Moment of Creation.
Those clouds.
How do you compete with that?
Hey, Mary, is that infrared?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Let me bring that image back up because it deserves to be seen again. I can.
Well, that deserves to be seen again too. That was good, Patty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
show them all.
Especially love the photo plane. Just that 7th photo plane in there. That was just fantastic.
Yeah.
There were just amazing images in every class. We just every month it just gets better. I'm stunned.
Well, honestly, that's kind of the point of the club, is that everybody that participates sees everybody else's photos and hears their critiques and internalizes it. And so every month it's getting a little bit better because you're learning not just from your own work, but from the collective work of everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, literally, yeah, if y'all saw where this was 5 years ago and like where the average submission is now, like it's astounding.
Mary, you got anything to say about this? What thoughts you had in your mind when you were composing this, and why you chose IR?
Is that a fisheye IR? Is that what we're going with?
That has to be fisheye. Is that fisheye? Yeah.
No, it's a merge of 5 or 6 images. So it's a Lightroom panorama with IR.
Oh,
So I went hiking last week at St. Edward's Park. I'd never been there before.
Yeah.
It was stunning, and the clouds were perfect, and I just went crazy. And yeah, but I shoot with a wide angle, so sometimes panoramics get a little squirrely, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But merging a panoramic in Lightroom with a wide angle can give you these kind of swirly things. Sometimes it's too distorted, but sometimes it works out if you get dumb lucky.
That's cool. Very
So it
cool.
almost looks like a vortex going around the center. I mean, it's really cool. Got a lot. It's a very dynamic image.
really stunning. I was curious. I was a little surprised you kept the mud bank at the front of it.
I really like that for some reason. I thought about it.
You like it?
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
It's kind of sacred profane, mud leading up into that sky. Yeah.
Well, it makes the water look like a mouth.
No, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh, I think you didn't talk about this one, but
Oh, do y'all want to see the behind the scenes photo?
Cool.
Here, give me a second. Hold on one sec. I'll show you the behind the scenes. I pulled it up.
I think
Wait, he's going to be submerged in water, everybody.
No.
I think you talked about a 3-gel shot the other day, but that was just awesome.
Can y'all see that?
No. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah. So it was 3 gelled speed lights about 2 feet away. So there was a pink, an orange, and a green speed light, and I was shooting with 100 mil macro. And yeah, that's all the lighting, and that was the background. That was the background.
Did you have a trained spider?
That part's the secret. I'll show you how to do my lighting. No, I was shooting the flower. I love agapanthuses. They're my favorite flowers. They remind me of nature's fireworks. So I was just shooting the flower, and then I noticed the spider after I'd already set up. But it goes to show that luck favors the prepared.
Yes.
Right? Right.
Yes.
If you're not ready to shoot, you're gonna miss the things that you see when they pop up. Right? Like that plane going across the moon. If you weren't in that spot with the right lens to get it, you wouldn't have gotten it unless you were already prepared.
Beautiful.
Spider took direction well.
Here's another angle of it. So orange, pink, and green.
And
So
shot in daylight too. Who would have known it was shot in daylight too?
Yeah, I actually thought it was a night shot.
Now, and it was like 4 feet off the background. So because those flashes are so close, that once the light hits the subject, it's already falling off so fast that the background just, and I was at like f8, ISO 100, like 1/200th of a second. So I mean, my ambient was pretty dark already, but I mean that was just shot with normal speed lights. But because they were so close, I think I was only at like maybe like 1/16th, 1/32nd, maybe somewhere in there. But they just didn't have to do that much work because there was 3 of them. They could work as third, as less powerful, right? Because 3 lights are contributing to it, and because those lights are all tracking opposed, that when they come together, they make white. So where all 3 of those lights come in, they make white.
Beautiful.
Ed, can you give me control back?
All right. Anyway, that's how I did it.
Nice.
Yeah, you should be able to. You should be able to. Can you share?
Yeah, I've got it. Can you turn on Patty Robertson's mic?
Turn on who?
Patty Robertson.
And this is Clay, membership secretary.
Hey, Clay.
Hi. I just want to call out and welcome Sabrina Lunsford. She was on the. Yeah, Sabrina. So she's our newest member. She joined just recently, and calling that she's.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi there.
Hi there.
Welcome.
Welcome to our merry band of misfits.
It was pretty awesome.
Patty.
Yeah, get out of the bed and start shooting.
Patty, can you hear me?
Ranger Tom?
Yeah.
Ranger
Did you turn her mic on?
Yeah,
It's
she's
Major
not muted.
Tom. Major Tom.
Yeah, Major Tom. Yeah.
Want to hear you.
Tommy.
She's not
Well-
muted in WebEx. She might be muted on her own computer.
Oh, that's possible. Okay, well, we sure wanted to hear what you had to say about the making of this, but we'll catch her at a later date.
I think someone was asking about popular choice or not popular choice.
People's choice.
People's choice.
Okay, yeah, that's a good time to do that. Let me see if I can get us back to that.
While you look for that, we've seen a lot of improvement in the images, but we've never really talked about or critiqued titles on images.
So I have some critiques about the titles.
Mine are terrible.
Actually, yours may be among the better ones. Some of them just seem like a description of a location.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh, yours is blatantly obvious, but at least the Chevy one was. I didn't, the flower one, but.
Spider and Agapanthus. That's exactly what it was.
Am I missing a joke on not a bear, or a viper, not a bear?
Yeah.
Because the person that shoots it usually submits like 99% bear photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to, you hang out in the club long enough, and these bad inside jokes start popping up.
Stephen, was the Aspen shot yours also?
What's that?
The Aspen shot.
No.
Okay. The smorgasbord comment, I thought there were berries in the background there.
Whose photo was smorgasbord?
It was mine. This is Mohib.
Damn it, Mohib, that photo was good.
Thank you.
It literally looked like a video game render when I saw it. Like, it was just like it didn't look real. It was so good. Anyway, I loved it.
Thanks.
So I'm going to tell you who the People's Choice winners were. In the basic class, the gold medal goes for Splash, which is Charles Schwartz. That was, I don't think we can, that's this picture here of the overflowing glass.
You're not showing your picture.
Yeah,
Mark.
it's not coming up.
Oh, I'm not showing. Okay. Well, rats.
Hey, Charles, on that Splash, was there much ambient light, or was that all? What was the lighting setup for that?
Oh, that was actually a studio setup. It was all lit from it was lit from above, if I remember correctly.
But was it constant light or strobe?
It was a strobe.
Strobe. Okay. How much was there? Much ambient light at all?
Not particularly. It was we turned off most of the lights to shoot, so it was not much ambient light. There was some, because my pourer had to be able to see.
I noticed that little bit of motion blur, and I didn't know if either your flash T5 times weren't fast enough, or if there was just ambient that was causing that blur. I wasn't sure which one.
Yeah, I didn't, honestly, I didn't see I didn't see the blur as detracting. So that was I guess I don't know the classic of what that's supposed to look like, but I thought the blur added some interesting motion to it. The things that I spent time on in editing on that one was, it turned out my pourer was wearing a pink blouse, and so I spent a lot of time editing the pink out of the glass so that it didn't show, and then whitening the background. Yeah. So and then there was a reflection in the we had kind of we had, I think it was like, I don't have the picture in front of me, but it was glossy plastic underneath it, and I had some reflection out to the front. But after looking at it for a while and talking with some other people about it, I cropped out the reflection and kept just the pool, because I really like that pool,
Yeah, I do too.
The way the way
Pool was great.
the concentric motion in the pool there was just, I thought it was a sheer bonus.
It was beautiful. All the light and the stuff going on in the pool was beautiful.
Yeah, and I brought a lot of towels.
Yeah, that's cool.
In the basic division, the second place, People's Choice, was Wildflower with Wildlife by Michael Knox. And the bronze award goes to Jim McDaniel for Swirly Snail. All great images.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then in the intermediate division, the gold medal went to Dr. Bird, Dave DeVore. There's a lot of compositions like this out in Taylor, Texas, so I encourage all of y'all to go out. Dave has been generous enough to show me where to go, and it's pretty impressive with all these birds they've got on the island out there.
And if you go to Taylor for lunch, you can go to Mueller's and get the beef rib with friends.
All right.
Highly recommended.
You know what? That's where I met Andrew the first time was there.
Not a surprise at all.
And he would talk to anybody.
There was a lot of Azulah's credit card charges from Mueller's and Taylor.
No, I mean the Taylor, the Rookery before Mueller's.
Yeah.
There was a guy there with this huge $10,000 lens and a monster tripod too.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, the silver award guy wants to hear his name called too, so.
Cool.
Okay.
Who?
That would be Dave again. I've got to show this shot full size if I can. Let's see.
Which shot?
I got to bring it up here. Hold on.
And so, how do you get them so?
Nice shot of the top of his head.
Okay, I think I got my mic working.
Oh, is that bad?
Finally.
Okay. We'll let you talk as soon as I show Dave's picture here. Well, oh, that's in the wrong division. No wonder. Intermediate. Maybe that'll catch it. All right. Okay, there's the first one, the yoga picture of the white egret and the cattle egret.
We're not seeing it.
Still not seeing it.
Oh, you're not seeing this? Okay.
No.
Okay, hold on.
Although that egret's hair and my hair were doing about the same thing today.
Over hair.
You have hair at least.
Let's
Barely. It's either turning gray or turning loose.
I mean, admittedly, I got the flock of seagulls hair going on today. We're doing bird jokes.
There goes. Oh,
Passed it.
Yeah.
Is that Dave's?
Yeah, I was there when he took this shot, and I tell you, he saw that bird way off. It lay sitting in the water with that fish in its bill, actually speared by the bill. And then he caught it going all the way across. I mean, he was ready. And that's what made all the difference getting the shot, because I had the same opportunity. I just didn't know what I was doing.
That's a big bass. Like,
yeah.
Seriously big bass.
It was probably about 12 inches. He had to flop it around on the ground for a while so he could get it down head first. I never eat them the other way or it would get stuck in their throat.
Yeah. You'll be proud of me. I took there's a night heron in my neighborhood, and I got it eating a crawfish. Kind of cool.
Yeah. They belch afterwards too. They do a really cool belch.
Yeah, I got one of those too, Josh, but I could never quite catch the moment when he gulped it down. He kept tossing it over and over again, trying to get it down.
It would have been easier for me. My 6-year-old and my 9-year-old hadn't been scaring it away too. Not the best birders.
I was down at the park by I-35 in Round Rock, and it was amazing, how how much those birds were ignoring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the People's Choice bronze medal goes to Patty Robertson. Maybe it's a good time for you to talk about this, Patty.
So I'm getting weird feedback on the sound. Are you getting it on your end too?
You're okay now.
Okay. So I'm using a macro lens to shoot this, and I was really disappointed in this shot actually, because I'm trying to get collisions. I'm trying to get a second drop down that meets the first drop and it explodes. Okay. So here, I put a little xanthan gum in the water and some food coloring, and I colored the water in the bowl differently than the water in the valve. So you got the two different, the drops one color, the drops yellow, and then the bowl's a different color. 2 flashes, low powered, sitting behind it off to the side. And I don't know what else. I'm shooting on bulb, and I'm actually with this particular timing, I was getting pretty clear shots. I mean, I've got hundreds of these shots, and I like this one just because it was so tall and thin, and then it had a little bulb at the top. I thought that looked kind of neat. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm still working on my collisions, and I've got to get my timing down. Oh, I know what. On this one, my valve was clogged, and I had to improvise because I couldn't get it to work. So I got a plastic bag and I filled it with the water and poked a little hole in the bottom and just kept shooting and shooting and shooting. Every time a drop came down, I'd time it, flash it to where I would think the drop was splashing up. So I've got my valve working now, and I'm trying to do collisions. That's what I'm working on when I get some time. But that's pretty much it.
Are you using an electronic trigger?
Am I using what?
Electronic trigger.
I'm using a MyOps.
Yeah.
But for this one, I had to go old school because my MOPS valve was clogged. So I used a plastic bag full of water with a pinhole in the bottom. And then I just suspended it with my arm.
Okay.
Cool.
And then the advanced group, the People's Choice Awards. First place, the gold medal was Spider Agapanthus by Josh Baker.
Can you explain how the scoring ranking is done? Since it was different this time, every image was ranked?
Oh, I see. Because I win one, you have to pull out the question the voting.
You can't vote.
Clearly something's wrong. This photo is clearly not the best. We need to look into the judging.
I think he became
It's all a mail-in vote.
Let him take the praise.
The ballots were stuffed.
How did Josh get 50 votes?
Second place for the silver medal was The Moment of Creation.
Yeah, nice.
By Mary Long.
Very nice. Very nice.
And Southern Magnolia was bronze. I got to give credit to, actually, I was out shooting this with another photo club.
Cheater. Traitor.
I would like to see this printed out on metallic luster paper. I think that would look amazing.
On which paper?
Metallic luster?
Yeah, I printed it up on Metallic Pearl by Moab.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Okay,
And on that note, guys,
Picture.
I gotta take off.
All right.
All right.
Listen,
Thank you so much. Appreciate all your help.
Thanks, Brian.
See
TB.
y'all next month.
Thanks for changing.
Anybody have any other comments before we hang it up?
You were showing the
Question, Mark,
Yes.
I have a question. Where did that extra airplane come from in Patty's picture of the Thunderbirds?
It's the chase plane.
Yeah, they were shooting. If you looked around, there was video. That's a video plane.
Yeah, it's a photo
Okay.
and video chase plane.
All right.
I would not have known that. I thought the guy got lost.
I thought maybe she glued that one in.
Now she dodging the statue.
When the first plane flew by, it was the solo plane flew by. I was like, one plane does not make a formation. And so I'm like, what, that's, I felt a bit cheated. I'm going, no, something's wrong here. Well, and then all of them came, and I didn't even realize that the sixth plane had come back.
I think there were
How
actually
did you-
Patty. I think there were actually 2 chase planes.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, I didn't see two at the same time. So
yeah,
Are you on the Capitol grounds? Where
yeah,
where are you?
yeah, I'm on the Capitol grounds, a little bit left facing the building.
how much cropping was there?
A fair amount. I don't know. I don't remember offhand.
I mean, you were using a telephoto lens then.
100 to 400, yeah. So I
Patty,
had 400. Yep.
how did you know where to position yourself, or was that just a guess?
Originally, I was gonna go near people. I was about a block away because I was like, oh, I won't be at the Capitol building because I only brought the one lens. And then I moved to a little bit closer to a parking lot that was up a bit higher than the grounds. And then I was like, let me check. And so I ended up moving to the grounds and thinking, so it was luck, but I also, my gut. And there weren't that many people there, and there was plenty of room. People were being good about giving me the 6 feet.
Great. Well, turned out fantastic.
great judgment, beautiful, awesome picture.
Yeah,
I
Patty
was
got all
pleased.
of my luck for this.
I've got a question about it. I got a shot of them up by the Fry's parking lot there at 35 and Mopac and Palmer. And we thought that we'd get a clear shot, and they flew behind the buildings. I got a shot when they were in between buildings somehow, but one of the planes had 2 cockpits. Is that for a guest, or was that one of the chase planes?
Plane.
Trainer.
Turner?
And then they use it for guests too.
They didn't invite me.
Pass a
They
physical and all
invite
kinds of
people.
things.
They invite
They ain't
people
gonna
so they
pass
can
the
turn out their
physical.
lights.
You
They
didn't get.
Get on the vomit comment.
I have a pretty strong stomach.
Well, but were you willing to do the? Were you willing to do the 14-day quarantine?
I've already done it.
Yeah, there was a writer for Sports Illustrated who got to ride in one of those planes, and he talked about it. He said, "Yeah, he had a strong stomach, and he threw up. He threw up the dinner he had last night. He threw up the burrito he had in 7th grade."
Yeah, if you want to talk about writing that stuff, talk to Stephen and Evelyn about it.
Okay. I'm not sure. I know I have a strong stomach. I'm not sure if I could withstand that, but I'd be willing to give it a try.
Well, these guys weren't doing aerobatics. I mean, they were just doing flyovers. You ever see these guys at an air show? Yeah, you'd be throwing up.
Well,
Russians used to be pretty liberal about letting you ride in their planes for about $5,000.
I just want to
But
say
you
we
get the
had
MiG-28.
we just had 35. I counted 35 participants on the call. I thought that was a great turnout tonight. Thank everybody for coming out and participating.
Yeah.
I'm not closing the meeting, but I think just acknowledging that we have a great club with great participation once again. And I want to know who the beach memories. We were talking about titles, and I wanted to say that picture. I looked at it first, and I didn't get it, but when I saw the title, it really made much more. I really liked it at that point. So, who beach memories was by whom?
I gotta go back to another list. Let's see.
Hey, while you're looking that up, I've been asked about face-to-face meetings, and it's going to come down to the church's rules, and I'm not sure where exactly we stand on that, but
It's
it won't
okay.
be
I
our
have a
rules.
Bible. I can protect us.
You just don't clear the grounds with tear gas first, please.
They tend to get very hot when they're around me, so.
Well,
Memories was fairly personal.
I can tell you that the church is not meeting on Sundays, so they're probably not in any hurry to open it up for anything else.
Yeah, so we can't have them there until they start meeting there.
Yeah, our meeting is on was it 21st, 18th? That's Bill talking about the lighting simulation. That'll be another WebEx meeting, which we want to thank Ed for hosting. Really nice job, Ed.
Sure.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
Sure.
And
I want to
also
thank all of our judges again. Mary
Yeah.
Long, Brian Nixon, Paul Schwartz. They all did a great job. I know it's a lot of work, and we really appreciate the time you put into it.
Yeah.
critiques. Very good to hear different voices.
Yes. It's a lot of judging is a lot of work, but it's a rewarding job. So everybody should do it.
I was going to say, should we do some judge training and help people build the skills so they have some confidence when they critique other people's images?
Yeah, that's something we've talked about putting together.
Yeah, we're getting started on. I put out some educational materials for the judges to look at, but short of taking a formal class, I mean, which is something I think we should do. I've got, but the only one I have access to is from the PFA, remember to do that. So,
Mary had some links to some judging, some critique websites and some videos, and I put them on the website. If you look on the website under judging, there's judging instructions, and there's like links to like 4 videos there.
Okay.
This was my first time. This is my first time judging with all the sliders, and I wanted to say I really like that, because even if it's a subject or a sort of thing that is not your personal favorite, the way the sliders force you to consider each element, even if it's a subject you're not interested or don't like, if the depth of field, if the technical stuff is all there, you give it, that on the slider. And if it, if the light and the tonality is there, the subjective ones are emotional response or story or stuff like that. But I love the sliders. I love that you're able to, they force you to be very granular about what's working and what's not working. And working with the sliders for the first time judging this time, they were very helpful to me in generating a score that made me think, yeah, on average, that's about how I feel about that. And then when you have to talk about it or write a critique, I feel like you're coming from a much more knowledgeable and objective place. So I'm really liking the sliders, and I think they will help people even if they don't feel that comfortable with judging. I find them to be a great kind of guide in judging something. They make it very simple. You're not just staring at an image and saying, well, what am I going to say about, what do I know about cars or something like that. So I was very impressed using the sliders, and also the 1 to 100 instead of 1 to 10. We didn't have any ties. We used to have ties all the time. So, good work, Mark, on all the sliders, and everybody who's putting this all together. I'd say very good work.
Well, thank you. We're slowly getting to where we want to be.
probably a little calibration between the judges would be good too, particularly since particularly when we're, I don't think it came into play this time particularly, but when we're judging on each other's, there's only 2 votes versus 3, and that kind of emphasizes any differences in calibration between us, so if I'm rating an average image at 65 and somebody else just is underwhelmed by the same image and puts it as a 1, I mean, that makes a big difference, particularly if there's only 2 votes instead of 3. So a little calibration might be needed.
Okay. All right.